Yeah, I've seen it all. From corner hustles to courtroom busts. From fast money to feds knocking at dawn. I took bullets, did bids, buried soldiers I called brothers. But I ain't here to glorify it. I'm here to break it down. This ain't gossip. This ain't no rap blog. This is history, straight from the pavement. You tapped into Crime Town TV, where street legends live on in ink, not in rumors. I'm Hank, the voice that survived it all. Now I'm telling it all. Let's talk about it. Anybody that wants to support the channel can cash at me at CHank for promotion. Contact cworld215@gmail.com. What's up, Crime Town TV fam? Tonight, we are shining a light on a side of Prohibition-era crime that rarely gets told. The story of the black policy gangs, the real power players in America's urban underworld during the 1920s and 1930s. It started with the policy racket, also called the numbers game. This was more than just gambling. It was a way for black communities to circulate money, create jobs, and build hope when the system shut them out. Systemic discrimination, segregation, job exclusion, and lack of access to banks and credit pushed many black families toward these underground economies. The numbers game became a survival strategy, offering economic opportunity when legitimate doors were closed. The Jones brothers in Chicago, Edward, Big Ed, George, and Mac, ran a policy empire that made millions every year. In Harlem, Stephanie St. Clair, the Madam Queen of Policy, built her own gambling dynasty, holding off both the police and the Italian mob. Women like St. Clair weren't just behind the scenes, they were leaders, strategists, and protectors. They managed policy banks, oversaw operations, and became legends in their own right, breaking both gender and racial barriers in the underworld. These policy gangs weren't just about numbers. They were involved in bootlegging, drug dealing, and even protection rackets. They had strict organization, appointed officers, and regular meetings. Real street syndicates with discipline and muscle. Some, like Black Brothers, Inc. in Philadelphia, would later evolve into the Black Mafia, taking on everything from numbers to extortion and drug trafficking. But it wasn't all smooth. These gangs faced violent rivalries, both inside their own ranks and with outside groups. Sometimes they clashed with the big Italian-American mafias. Sometimes they cut deals. They operated parallel to the dominant mobs, holding down their own territories and defending their communities. The policy racket was so embedded in black urban life that by the 1930s there was even a national brotherhood of policy kings connecting these operations across cities. The money from policy often went right back into the neighborhood, funding businesses, supporting families, and helping folks survive in a world stacked against them. While some pastors and civic leaders spoke out against these rackets, for many, the numbers game was a daily ritual, a source of hope, jobs, and community pride. And here's the wild part. The numbers game laid the foundation for today's state lotteries. When states needed new revenue, they borrowed the structure and excitement of the old policy racket. Daily draws, printed tickets, and big cash prizes. What started as an underground hustle became a billion-dollar legal industry, but the roots are right there in the black communities of Prohibition-era America. Their legacy? The black policy gangs showed how marginalized communities could build their own power even in the underground. They laid the groundwork for later urban organized crime and even influenced the creation of legal lotteries. So next time you hear about Prohibition-era gangsters, remember, the story isn't complete without the policy kings and queens, the real bosses of the numbers game. This is Crime Town TV, where the streets talk, and we listen. That's all for today on Crime Town TV. Thanks for tuning in and taking this ride through the real stories behind the streets. If you want more legends, more hustle, and more truth from the block to the boardroom, Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Drop a comment. Let us know who you want to hear about next. Until then, keep it locked and stay sharp. This is Crime Town TV, where the streets talk and we listen. See you next time. Peace.